You ever wish that you could look at your business and create a social media plan that holistically took into account all aspects of your life? Then you're going to love today's interview with Prathima. Prathima takes a holistic approach to understanding your business goals, time management goals, and your life, and she works backwards from there. Her goal is to help business owners create a plan that allows them to enjoy marketing their brands on social media and not compromise their mental health or their personal time. A few awesome wins about Prathima. She is a member of the Social Click, my mentorship and mastermind for freelancers, which you can learn more about above this video, below this video, or at rachelpedersen.com/podcast. She has doubled her revenue since 2022, launched a brick and mortar business and got them from zero online presence to reaching 3.3 million people in 4 months. And she helped a client achieve 30-day growth, relaunching a presence online for a wellness brand, 263% increase in comments and 425% increase in reach. Let's dive into this interview. I am so excited. Let's dive on in. Prathima, welcome to see you. Welcome to have you. Good to have you. Nice to see you. All of the above. Hi.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
I'm super excited because I think we get to go a little bit of a different direction today. And this is one I love. I think it's a fascinating topic. A lot of people want to get active on social media. They want to hire people to grow their social media. But something that holds a lot of people back is confidence.
Mhm.
Where did you find confidence? Because you show up every single day, not just for your clients, but for yourself as well.
Yeah. I would say like I wasn't always like this. I guess that's that's the big, thing about the whole story is that I wasn't always like this. In fact, when I was growing up, I had the lowest confidence. I didn't feel like I was able to fit in or anything like that. So I always wanted to be someone else, not myself.
Mhm.
And as I grew, I think where it first started and where I grew confidence, honestly, and just, you know, wanting to put myself out there was dancing and performing arts. So that was my first business. And I never did social media or anything
Yeah.
with regards to that. This was like back in 2006, 2007. And there was no like really social media up, like even Facebook wasn't there yet. But I felt this amazing confidence on stage. And like I could just like be this kind of like, like performers, like how Beyonce is and how like all these crazy celebrities are. They're so different, like on stage and off stage. So I kind of had that vibe and I felt it. And that kind of grew my confidence first from being that shy person to being able to just put myself out there. But where I think it really soared was when I started my second business in network marketing.
Mhm.
This was 2016 or so.
Okay.
We had to promote ourselves in network marketing. You're trying to stand out in a crowd of people who are, promoting the same brand and all that kind of stuff. And so I had to show up in a way that was authentic to me, or else, how would I kind of grow my business, right? And get customers. So I started just using the tools that were out there. And I felt comfortable with Facebook. I started with Facebook a lot, doing lives here and there and just talking like there were people
Yeah.
listening to me, actually, like one person, they tell us like talk to as if, you're talking to like one person. So I just kind of took these, especially from you. I learned a lot from you. I started watching you early on too. And I was like, just taking these little tips that I learned from people like you and mentors who are in marketing and applied them slowly. It took a long time. It's years of like just practice. And honestly, like I didn't know what else to do except to be myself.
Yep.
I would get inspiration, but I would do lives. I would do like when Reels came out, I would start with Reels on Facebook and Instagram. So that's honestly, I don't know how like it switched, but it was like when I got into network marketing, it put me in that position where I had to stand out or else my business was not going to grow. And so I just had to, it was like you put the fish in the water and it had to swim, right? So
Yeah.
same thing. And now I just feel like confident. I don't care if I don't have makeup on or have makeup on or have PJs or have sweatshirt, the same sweatshirt every day. Those things are small things that I
Yeah.
realize don't matter in the big scheme of things when I'm just trying to help people and get my message out. So again, it wasn't an overnight thing at all. It was
Yep.
what, 42 years in the making. So yeah.
I love that you share that story because I think that's going to resonate a lot for many business owners who want to get on social and they want to be active, they want to build their businesses, because that's really and truly just one of the layers that stops many business owners from getting out there.
Yeah.
Another one that comes up a lot is overwhelm. And this is something that you kind of actually specialize in removing, right? Can
Yeah.
you share a little bit about that? Yeah, this is so
Of
exciting.
course.
Yeah.
Because of the way I have a family, I have like 3 kids, and I started all my businesses like as I was working from home. So it's kind of like, how do you run the business with raising kids at home, taking them to school, all these activities? And, you just kind of have to figure it out, right? You can't do everything. Absolutely not. You have to prioritize. You have to be willing to say, okay, my business is going to grow a little bit slower, but at least I'm doing the right things and moving it forward. So I like working with people who are ready to accept that and ready to be like, yeah, I will have to prioritize things. Yes, it might be giving up some time with my kids sometimes, but then getting it back in another way, like all these things. So when I work with my clients, I kind of work holistically. So I start asking them about their lifestyle. I ask them about, what's going on in their life that they don't want to give up, that they absolutely cannot, let go of, and then kind of work to get them a strategy that kind of works around that. And so that's what I help like clients do, is that make sure we start from the beginning of not getting overwhelmed, not be like,
Yeah.
we're going to put out like 10 posts or 10, videos every week and things like that. So it's like, what can you do with what you have right now, but then still try to achieve what you want to with your business. And if you want to push it, we can push it as we go along and realize, okay, this is working. So now let's add another layer. Let's add another layer, like that kind of thing. So that's kind of how I work with my clients, is that we start looking at the big picture, starting from their lifestyle, and then kind of working backwards to their business. Like, how do we get it going?
I want to highlight what you just said about the holistic look at people's, and you said lives. You didn't just say businesses. And that's something that's really big. I find oftentimes when people go to hire support for their business, they'll bring in X, Y, and Z agency or X, Y, and Z freelancer, and they're like, now we're going to do 5 videos a day. And now we're going to do 7 posts, and you need to write them all, and you need to film all of this. And like they go into shock and then just shut down. And then sometimes even their business will go under because it just can't maintain that level. Did you ever experience that for yourself, or how did you realize that that was a possibility? Did you see clients go through it? Yeah, what
I
was
mean,
it?
I think the messages that are being put out there sometimes, especially the last few years, maybe it's getting better now, but as like platforms change, as like even video has gotten bigger, it's
Yep.
like you have to do these things or else your business will fail. Like that's kind of, I guess, a lot of people are getting that into their heads. And the clients especially that I talk to, they're like, I just don't know what to do. I feel like I have no time. I feel like there's too much information.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to do everything. And then I can already see them talking about, and it's like that overwhelm is kicking in slowly. Start like
Yeah.
closing, right? Like, and you can feel that tension because they're
Yeah.
already getting all this bombarding information about, you have to do this, you have to do that. And I'm like, you don't have to do any of that. We have, first, let's talk about you and, everything about you and what you can do. And then we
Yep.
can figure out the best practices and see if you can apply those. Then those are just guidelines, right? Like those are just like, that worked for their business, but it doesn't mean it's going to work for yours. So
So true. And I also think a lot of people don't realize what one piece of content can do. Like,
mhm.
what if one video can bring you an additional 10 customers per week? You know, you
Yeah,
have no
exactly.
idea. It's pretty powerful. What platforms are you seeing the greatest, like, consistent growth, not just on the front end, but on the back end of businesses right now? Where are you seeing success?
So I work a lot on Instagram. Most of my clients do Instagram with me. Some of them do Facebook and LinkedIn too, but I myself, for my business, have seen Instagram growth and even consistent growth. Like it's not like, like a ramp up, but it's hard to keep up even with my business with clients. But I've seen, I'm like, hey, I'm still getting leads. I'm still doing this. And so are my clients. Like one of my clients is in the wellness sector, and they're a brick and mortar, local business. So they still get people. Right now, I'm just maintaining their presence. I'm not really like scaling their growth, because Instagram is not necessarily their driver for leads, but it is like keeping people aware that, hey, this business exists. So it's like the brand awareness, discovery, that kind of thing, right? So people do mention to them, it's like, I found you on Instagram. So it is still working. So I definitely think that Instagram is still powerful. A lot of people think it's dead, but I think to nurture and like be discovered and like deepen the relationships a little, Instagram is really great right now.
I'm
So
actually
I find it pretty powerful.
I'm backing that up with you, and I know that might actually be surprising because it's never been my favorite platform.
Right?
But suddenly, even though we had the lowest engagement we've ever had,
Yeah.
we're growing by like thousands of followers a month and reaching the most people we have in a long time. And I'm like, what is
That's awesome.
happening?
Yeah.
I thought it was like dormant, and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden, I
exactly.
guess it was just sleeping. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is kind of cool. Okay, are there any platforms that you don't love using right now? Or any platforms? It's like the, what is it, Mary Boff Kill? No,
Yep.
which
Yep.
are there any platforms you're not loving right now?
I don't think there's anything. I haven't dived into Twitter, so I can't say I don't like it, but
Yep.
I'm trying to get my hands into YouTube. Of course, I don't consider that necessarily a social media platform,
Yeah.
but I definitely think it's so powerful. I need to get into that. I don't hate any platforms. No, they've all got their, nuances and their thing,
Yep.
their special like sauce, right? And
Yep.
I love TikTok too, but again, I haven't dived too much into that because I don't necessarily work with clients who are on
Yeah.
TikTok right now.
Yep.
But yeah, I think you have to, as a social media marketer, I feel like you have to appreciate some of the things that each platform has and its abilities,
Yep.
which I didn't like initially with TikTok. I'm like, I can't do it. But then I'm like, man,
I
I
remember
love the
that.
energy. No, but I love the energy now on TikTok. And sometimes
Yeah.
it's just there to make you feel good, like the people
Yep.
you watch and all that. And it gives a lot of inspiration. So I think if you keep that open mind, it helps.
What do you think are realistic goals for businesses when it comes to social? Because one of the things I've seen a lot is people will be like, I want to grow by 100,000 followers this year.
Yeah.
That's not always that's almost never
Yeah.
realistic. What kind of goals do you usually like to set with clients? I know it ranges, but
Yep.
go for it.
Yeah. I think realistic goals can always they always have to be tied back to like what has been possible before, I guess. So again, I know it's like that's not the answer sometimes people want, but it's like, what have you seen in your work so far that we can push further? And so I kind of do that. I set benchmarks first based on what they've already seen.
Mhm.
And I'm like, well, now if you implement these strategies because you weren't doing it before, you could see this. So
Yes.
let's try for, that kind of goal, right? So in 3 months, let's say, they could grow by,
Mhm.
um, like a certain percentage of followers every month or website traffic, things like that. So I really kind of have to look at what their business has done first. But if it's an absolutely new business, it's like, this is
Yeah.
kind of an experimentation. So let's
Mhm.
just push as much as we can, like based on
Mhm.
your business goals and like what you can do. And then let's see what happens in 3 months. And then it's like, okay, yeah, now I know I can do this. So let's push for more. So I hate giving numbers, but it's kind of like that's how I work
Mhm.
when I come up with metrics and like what we're tracking for my clients. But
Yep.
I would say if you're doing consistently, like every week, let's say even 5 times posting on any one platform, and you're
Yep.
incorporating some kind of video every week, I feel like you would see within 30 days, you could definitely see a huge spike in reach, engagement. If it's something you weren't doing, I'm saying,
Yes.
you could definitely see like good growth. I would say you would see positive results in
Yep.
the direction you want to go. So
Yep.
in 30 days, I've seen all my clients like get definite like bigger results than they had before. So I know it's possible. It's just like you have to know like the best practices and things like that. And so that's how we guide people, right?
I love that answer so much because anyone who guarantees like a certain number of growth or says like this is how much growth we get our clients, that's kind of a red flag or yellow at least.
Yeah.
Depending,
Yeah.
my next question would be how much an ad spend, like,
Yep.
but I love the way that you framed that. It's based on percentages, it's based on the metrics that you set for each and every client. I know that there are people who are going to be watching this interview saying, I need to learn more. So, where can people learn more about you?
Well, I am definitely active on Instagram. That is my, right now my number one platform, and TikTok as well. But I I love teaching about just keeping your sanity. I guess I have this phrase. It's like, don't worry about the vanity metrics as much as your sanity metrics.
That's so
So
good.
yeah, because I talk a lot about like even just simplifying things, right? So
Yes.
Instagram is where to go to kind of chat with me, DM me, learn more about me. But I'm on TikTok as well. So yeah, and Facebook, kind of all the
Beautiful.
platforms, kind of delving in. But I'm definitely there for anyone to ask any questions and help
Mhm.
answer. So
Beautiful. And we will link to those handles above this video, below this video, or at rachelpedersen.com/podcast. Prathima, thank you so much for joining me. And thanks, everyone. We'll see you in
thank
the next
you.
episode.